President Obama and his congressional supporters estimate that his health care plan is going to cost somewhere between $50 and $65 billion a year. Ladies and gentlemen, that cost estimate is a lie. A matter of fact, almost any cost estimate coming out of Washington, whether it's a Democratic president, a Democratic Congress, or a Republican president and a Republican Congress, any cost estimate is a lie. Now you say, hey, Williams, you don't have a lot of faith in our people in Washington. Well, let me give you some data, and maybe you can tell me why I should have faith or why anybody should have faith in the statements coming out of Washington. In 1966, the House Ways and Means Committee and President Johnson said that by 1990, Medicare would only cost $12 billion. In 1966, it started out at $3 billion, but they said by 1990, it won't cost $12 billion. Well, in 1990, Medicare topped $107 billion. That's 9 times higher than the congressional estimate. Today's Medicare comes to $420 billion. Here's another part of the Medicare lie. Now, this is found in Section 1801 of the 1965 Medicare Act. It says, and I'm going to read this, it's just a small paragraph. It says, nothing in this title shall be construed to authorize any federal officer or employee to exercise any supervision or control over the practice of medicine or the manner in which medical services are provided. And he goes on to say some other thing. Ask your doctor, is that true? That is a damn lie. And Americans fell for it. But however, lies and deception, it's not a modern thing. During the debate prior to the ratification of the 16th Amendment, President Howard Taft and the congressional supporters of the income tax, they said that only the rich would pay federal income taxes. Matter of fact, in 1916, only 0.5% of income earners paid income taxes. Those earning $250 million a year in today's dollars, they paid a 1% rate. Those earning $6 million in today's dollars paid 7%. Now, the lie that only the rich would pay income taxes was just simply a lie to exploit the politics of envy. Well, let me go on. I can go on with a whole list of lies, but let me just talk about another one. Another one is the Social Security lie. Here's what a Social Security pamphlet said in 1936. And you can probably find the pamphlet on the internet. It said, and I'm quoting these sections. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm quoting the sections. It says, after the first 3 years, beginning in 1940, you and your employer will pay 1.5 cents on each dollar you earn up to $3,000. Beginning in 1943, you'll pay 2 cents. And finally, beginning in 1949, 12 years from now, you and your employer will each pay 3 cents on each dollar up to $3,000 a year. Now, here's the lying promise. Quote, I'm quoting from the pamphlet. That's the most you will ever pay. Let me repeat that. That's the most that you will ever pay. Now, compare that to today's reality, including Medicare. The Social Security tax comes to more than 7.5 cents on each dollar you earn up to $107,000. And that comes to over $8,000 a year in Social Security taxes. Now, how are we going to believe it? Let me tell you, there are 2 more Social Security lies I'm going to tell you. The pamphlet, the Social Security pamphlet, put out by Congress says, beginning in November 24th, 1936, as a matter of fact, that's the year I was born, so they're kind of committed to me. The United States government will set up a Social Security account for you. The checks will come to you as a right. Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, there's no Social Security account in your name. And moreover, the United States Supreme Court has ruled on 2 occasions that Americans have no right to Social Security. They have the amount of Social Security coming to them that Congress decides for them. And then one final lie, Social Security lie, is that on my Social Security card, and I have proof because I just showed it to Kit Carson, my call screener guy here, Imprint. Yeah, that's number 5. He's counting these lies. It's on my Social Security card. It says, quote, for Social Security purposes, not for identification. Now, you can't even go to the men's room without giving your Social Security number today. They use for identification for almost everything. Now, the reason why is that Americans back then, they were afraid that Social Security number would be used for identification, so the Congress just bought them off with this lie saying that Social Security card is not for identification purposes. Now, you people are going to believe these turkeys in Washington about health care, the cost of health care.